Hello folks, hi, happy Tuesday. I'm trying to get the camera in the right place, but I chucked my hair on top of my head, and every time I try and lean forward, then you can see like above me is a pot rack, and I keep banging all the saucepans. So it's really noisy. So anyway, right, I thought, because I did a little post earlier in the week, I think it was Saturday, about my shopping and about how cheap it was, and how throughout this month we are trying to really save some money on food and use up what we have and just basically try not to waste money and waste food. So I said we're having like a really sort of thrifty January with our food, and I know a lot of people were asking me what types of things we cook and how much it costs per person, I guess, and just how I do it. So I just thought tonight I'm cooking a mega simple meal, but I thought I would come on and do it live while I talk to you beautiful people. So we are having, I say we're having, actually no, they are having, because it's got chicken in it and I'm not eating meat at the moment. So the family are going to be having a chicken pasta. Now, I cooked some pasta for lunch because Audrey had some pesto. I'd made some homemade pesto a few days ago. So I cooked the pasta earlier so that that's done. So literally, I'm just going to show you that. It's not very exciting. There you go. Pasta's done. So that's fine. And I'm going to be making like the chicken sauce or whatever you would call it to go with it. So I have an onion, some garlic, 1 tin of tomatoes, 2 carrots, but like carrot and a half, and some mixed herbs. And then I have been defrosting today. We have just 1 quite big chicken breast there. In fact, I'm going to put that over this side by the sink now. So I'll just chat while I start cooking this. So basically, I don't want my knife. Basically, we always have like frozen chicken in the freezer, and quite often we get our meat from, well, mostly we get our meat from the butchers, but we also always keep like a bag of frozen chicken breasts just from the supermarket in the freezer. So I think that is from the supermarket bag, and the whole bag is something like £3.50 maybe £3.70. I'll have to double check, but they're not, it's definitely £3 something. And in there, you normally get 5 or 6 big chicken breasts. I mean, you can see how large that one is there. Sorry, anyone that doesn't eat meat. I'm really just flashing that in your face again. But yeah, so you can see it's quite a big chicken breast, and obviously it's going to be chopped up. So that is more than plenty to go to feed everybody. So it means that that bag of what? 6 chicken breasts for £3 something is going to essentially do 6 meals, or at very least it's going to do 4 meals if I cooked something different where maybe they were having like an actual chicken breast for their dinner. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I wouldn't necessarily give them a whole chicken breast anyway. Maybe I'm just really tight and my family are always hungry, but I'm not going to lie, my family don't look malnutrition, do they? Or like they're not getting fed enough. So they obviously, I think they obviously get what they need. So sometimes I think we cook extra, we make extra just because we're in the habit of it. And I know full well that I am a feeder. I'm a complete feeder. Like, I take so much joy in seeing people eat. Especially seeing them eat the food that I've cooked. Like, if they're enjoying my food, then it makes me like so happy. So I know I'm a feeder, and that's why doing this is really quite strange for me actually, because I am so used to just cooking big portions and just making sure that everyone's really got enough, but it's just a lot of the time it's so unnecessary. But I think this is a really good thing to do. And I think for anybody really, and not necessarily, you know, it's not, sometimes it can be about if you can afford the food, and sometimes it can literally just be about wastage. And in all honesty, I hate waste. And I don't know, maybe it's just a little project I've given myself. But if anyone has any tips and wants to say anything, oh my gosh, that does not want to crush. Hi Kelly, how you doing? Then jump in, ask me anything, give me any info, any tips maybe that you've got for making things go a bit further, any recipes that you've got that you want to share with me. I mean, this is just a really cheap, healthy, quick dinner. It's got all the essential elements. It's going to have carbs in there because it's going to have the pasta. It's got their protein because it's got their meat. And then it's got obviously vegetables. It's got the tinned tomatoes, carrots. I may or may not chuck in some like frozen sweet corn. But all in all, how much is this going to cost? So, okay, if the chicken is £3, say £3.50, say £3.60, okay? So it's like 60 pence a chicken breast. Is that right? Yeah, so it'd be like 50p. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? So like 6 pence a chicken breast. And they're having one chicken breast between 4 of them. I'm going to use 2 carrots, and I think they were, I don't know, like 48p for a bag of carrots. Tin of tomatoes, 23p. No, sorry, these are the more expensive ones, 33 pence. I like to push the boat out a little bit. Mixed herbs, oh my gosh, I don't know how much this costs, but it has been going for probably about 6 months, so not really sure what we've got going on there. Pasta, I think is about 4 to 6p for a bag of pasta, so, you know, that's also been going for quite a little while. I think a bag of pasta in this house will do 2.5 meals for everybody, maybe 3 meals, depending on how many of them are eating it. So yeah, I think we're looking at probably about, I don't know, like 80 pence a head. I'll sit down afterwards and work it out, but I really, this like, it's just not an expensive dinner, is it? Oh, Emma, you've got your soup. I saw your soup in your slow cooker earlier, and it looks amazing. And that's another really good way to make your meals go a bit further, be a little bit cheaper, and just keep it nice and easy as well, isn't it? By just getting some vegetables, some meat or whatever, chuck it in your slow cooker, and it's got all the nutritional value in there, all the goodness stays in there, and you just, you know, eating it that way. And it is so easy. I'm a bit rubbish with my slow cooker at the moment. I go through stages where I use it a lot, and then, like I say, recently I haven't used it actually for quite a while. So there you go. I put a little bit of olive oil in there, frying that up. So yeah, so my carrots, my onions and my garlic, chucking that in there. I'm just going to drain the like juice off the chicken because obviously it's defrosted, and then I'm going to cut that up. So just going to go off here. Hi Rach. So here we go. Always nice someone else cooking dinner, isn't it, Rach? So I'm gonna chop up this chicken breast. Obviously, now that I've touched it, I'm not going to be touching anything else. And then chuck that in. And then chuck the tomatoes in. Oh my gosh, like, am I just really lazy, or is this how everybody else cooks? Everybody knows already that I rarely follow a recipe. I just don't have the patience unless it's something that I want to be really nice. But let's face it, that's never really an issue for me. I'm never that fussed. And my mum always had, when we for baking when we were younger, she always had a disaster tray. So anything that ever went wrong always went in the disaster tray. And it was really good. So like if your cake were all crumbled or your cookies were all broken or anything, that always went in this like disaster tray, and it meant that we get to pick at it and just eat that anyway. Right, let me just wash my hands because I don't want to pick up the board with my hands covered in chicken juice. So I'm literally going to chuck the chicken in there. I'm going to let it brown a little tiny bit. Not too much because I don't want it to be sort of crispy. But I have literally just diced the chicken. I'm going to chuck that in. There we go. Chuck that in the sink. But I'm going to just let it have a tiny bit of colour. Break it all up a little bit. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to chuck my tomatoes in. Boom. What am I having? So I'm making, let me just chuck this in before it browns too much. So for anyone that has just jumped on or not long jumped on, I am doing like a mega thrifty food month of January. I keep forgetting that I've got saucepans above me and my hair's so high, like it keeps knocking them. So thrifty January for food. So I'm trying to spend as little as possible and make really cheap but hopefully nutritious meals for my family. So I am cooking a pasta dish, which is with a chicken sauce. Do you call it a sauce if it's not like blended? I don't know. So basically I've cooked the pasta, which I cooked at lunchtime because Audrey had some pasta for lunch, and then I am using chicken. So I'm making the sauce out of tinned tomatoes, onions, garlic, herbs, and chicken basically, and carrot. I've put carrot in there as well, and then I'm going to cook that up. I need to chuck some herbs in there, a little bit of salt, and basically that is a balanced meal that has, I think I worked out that in all, it's probably going to cost about 80 pence a head. So it is not costing a lot at all. So I'm going to chuck a little bit of that in. And then I've just got a bit of sea salt here. So obviously with having children, I try not to use much salt in things, but I just think sometimes you need a little bit of salt. So that has gone in there. I'm going to bring the pan over just to show you. So you can see that now is all cooking down. And I'm just going to essentially leave that to simmer. So I'm going to turn that down. I'll put it on like my biggest hob, which is a bad idea, isn't it? Do you fit that? Yes, you do. So I might put a little bit of hot water in that in a minute. Obviously hot water is free, so you know that's not going to cost me anymore. But that is going to be the dinner for tonight. Like I say, it's going to cost about 80 pence per head. They may or may not be allowed a little bit of grated cheese on there. I think I might allow a little bit, just to give it a little bit of something special as well. But yeah, so that is basically it. That is me cooking for the family. So a family of 4, because I'm not going to be eating it myself. And that's it. That's how simple it really can be. So for myself, do you know what, Emma? I haven't decided. I've still got some pesto made. So I may have pesto on rice cakes. I'm so random at the moment. So, I have a cabbage. I have a cabbage that I bought this week and I'm desperate for some like steamed cabbage. Is that weird if I just have cabbage? Maybe with like, just like a bit of salt and butter on it. Is that weird? That's weird, isn't it? So yeah, I'm not actually sure what I'm going to have, but it will be something obviously out of the fridge, some of the vegetables and things like that. I've actually still got some tofu as well there, so we'll see. But yeah, I don't actually have, I can put the ingredients and what I've done in the, so I can make up like a bit of a recipe for you to put in the, sorry, Emma, I just read your comment, so weird. Thanks, dear. to put in the comments. I can put the sort of recipe. Let me stand up straight because I'm hunched over there, to put in the comments for you. But like I say, I've kind of just made it up. So you kind of just chuck in whatever you think. Sometimes I chuck in some extra frozen veg. It just depends on how far it needs to go. So if it needs to go for more people, I might put some extra stuff in. Sometimes I use like corned beef. Tomorrow I might make a corned beef stew, in which case if anyone's interested I can always do a video again on that. But again, it's just pennies that we're spending. We've done really, really well so far. So this morning the children had Weetabix or porridge. Now, we do not buy branded Weetabix or porridge, I'm afraid, because personally I don't know whether I taste the difference because I don't massively eat it, but the children have no idea that there's a more expensive brand. So they're perfectly happy with the supermarket brand of Weetabix or porridge. So we spend a bit of money on the milk, as you do. You know, you have milk with it. And then for lunch, I am that mean mum that even though they are having homeschooling and not going to school, I still make them, this is bad, isn't it? I still make them make a packed lunch in the morning because it just helps keep them in routine. Hello. Oh, thank you, found the button.
No.
Oh.
It's my crystal.
Oh, wow, it's a beautiful crystal. Okay, go off then, go play.
It has three, but
Wow, yep.
It has.
Okay, it's got little holes in it. Wow, she found a crystal button.
Not a crystal button.
Not a crystal button, just, do you want to come here? Let's come up and say hello.
When they take it up, then they put the three little holes in.
Oh, do you want to show everybody? Everyone see? Oh, my head's hitting the saucepans again. Wow. So for lunch, they make themselves a packed lunch like they would for school. Emma says hi, which is a sandwich. So it's a cheese or a ham sandwich with lettuce in it. They're not happy about the lettuce, but I make them put lettuce in it. They have a piece of fruit, and then normally they have a treat. And I did talk about the other day, I didn't buy any treats. I haven't this month yet because there's still so much chocolate left over from Christmas. And I am a mean mum, so I ration it out. I make sure that they can't just eat it all. So like out of the selection boxes, it might be that they have something with their lunch or after their dinner. Yesterday, Audrey and I made cookies. So I kept some of the cookie dough. So today, for their treat after their lunch, they had like a fresh baked cookie. And what did that cost me? Oh my gosh, we made them from stuff from the store cupboard. So I actually think we chopped up some of the Christmas chocolate to put the chocolate, because we didn't have chocolate chips. So we actually used some of the Christmas chocolate, chopped up, to put in there anyway. So yeah, it's like minimal. And then tonight they're gonna have this dinner. So they're gonna have the chicken and tomato pasta with a little bit of cheese on it and pudding. I don't know, does everybody on here, do you all give your children pudding after every meal? Is it just me? Mine have now sort of come to a stage where they expect it, and it hasn't always got to be anything big. Sometimes it's just a yogurt or a biscuit or something. But am I the only one that does this, or is there anybody else that finds that you sort of have gotten into this habit of them having a pudding after everything that they eat? Is it just me? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. We do try sometimes and be like, do you know what, there's nothing. But quite often it's something that's homemade or they've made themselves, or I don't know. So yeah, you do, Nadia. Yay, it's not just me. I think it's just the culture nowadays. You have something to eat and then they have something sweet. So even when they're a baby, they would have their meal, and then they'd have some pureed fruit or some yogurt, or, you know, so we kind of got into this habit of having a pudding. And when I was little, I can remember we used to have a pudding after like a Sunday lunch. But I don't really remember having puddings the rest of the time. So I guess it's not the best habit to be in, but I do try and restrict their snacking a little bit through the day. So maybe that's how I justify it to myself. It's still not really great, is it? Yeah, so Shannon, you do, but it's most likely yogurt. I used to be able to get away with yogurt all the time, but now the older two, they're just not really into it. But at the same size, at the same time, if they don't want what's offered, they don't get anything else. And that is what we have in our family anyway. So whether it's dinner or pudding, whatever I've made is what's for dinner. If you don't like it, if you don't want it, I'm afraid you go hungry, you don't get a choice. There's no, I'll go and make myself a piece of toast. There's no, I'll go and make myself something else. That is what there is to eat, and that is it. And that's how I was brought up as well. And that does help with sort of reducing the amount of wastage and the amount it costs in the first place as well from cooking things. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong on that as well. But if you have any sort of different ways that you do it in your house, maybe you cook everybody a different meal, drop it in the comments, let me know. Are you someone that cooks like 3 different meals, one for the kids, one for yourself, one for your husband or partner or wife or grandparents, whatever? Let me know, how do you do it? And it's just so interesting, isn't it, to see how people do things differently. So that is now just literally simmering away nicely. I'm gonna bring it over and just give you another little look at that. So that's just literally cooking away beautifully there. So in this house they normally eat their dinner about 5. So that will be perfectly like just cooked down and the tomatoes cooked properly for then. So it should be really tasty. Thank you so much for jumping on and listening to me go on and on and on. I hope that you found some value in this. And if you want to see anything specific, if you want to see me making anything specific or have any other ideas for me to do a video on, please feel free to message me or put a comment on here. And otherwise, have a fantastic evening. I promise I'll do my hair for tomorrow. I'll see you guys later. Bye.